For years, we watched Jackie and Shadow together at their Big Bear nest. We watched them maintain the nest, repair it, rebuild it as needed. We watched them raise their eaglets. That was like my personal favorite of all the footage. Just watching the parenting. We watched them endure storms. That was also something incredible to watch. We watched them defend their territory and simply live their lives in front of the camera. But now, for the first time in years, Shadow is alone. Sadly, Jackie passed away the morning of August 10th after just over 3 weeks of intensive medical care at the Ojai Raptor Center. So the question is, what happens to Shadow now? And what should we be watching for in the coming weeks and months? So the California Department of Fish and Wildlife confirmed that Jackie passed away. She was the first documented bald eagle chick hatched in Big Bear Valley in 2012. And she and Shadow raised eaglets together since 2018. But while Jackie's story has sadly come to an end, the story of the Big Bear Valley Eagle territory continues. Life goes on. So let's take a step back and look at who is Shadow. Because I often think Jackie was the big star of it all. And I think that's because Jackie was there before Shadow. The friend of Big Bear Valley's historical record says that Shadow arrived in the territory in 2018 as an intruder. But he was so persistent about staying that he eventually became the resident male. And Friends of Big Bear Valley did later confirm that he was not the earlier Big Bear eagle named Shadow. There was one before. And that more importantly, he is not Jackie's sibling. And I do have a video coming about how bald eagles don't interbreed with relatives. That is a really important thing for the survival of the species. So Shadow won over Jackie and became her mate, and they became the famous Big Bear Eagle pair. They raised multiple eaglets together, and millions of people worldwide came to know them through their nest camera. Psst. Hey you, I wanted to interrupt your video for one quick moment. YouTube is telling me that the majority of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. So if that's you, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, I would love to ask you to consider subscribing. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider sharing it with others that you know would love it. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Now, back to your video. So where is Shadow right now? Friends of Big Bear Valley documented Shadow on August 7th, flying through the habitat and landing on one of his favored perch trees, known as the Lookout Snag. He stayed there for about 45 minutes looking out over the lake. Another nearly mature banded eagle joined him, but Shadow left shortly afterward. So there are other eagles around in the area right now. I've mentioned before that Jackie and Shadow don't guard the area as fiercely when they don't have babies in the nest. And Friends of Big Bear Valley has reported the nearly mature banded eagle with Shadow, a very vocal subadult visiting the nest, and several bald eagles of various ages around the valley. There is continued activity on their cameras. And ABC7 reported that another juvenile eagle hopped on the nest recently. And Friends of Big Bear Valley's media manager also said that there has been a lot of eagle activity on the habitat cameras. So I think the big question most of us have at this time is, could Shadow get another mate? Birds are very social creatures and they often pair off with mates. And I know for sure with bald eagles, they tend to stay together for years and years and years, like Jackie and Shadow have. And I used to go to Anaheim, California and see Lai and Scruffy. They had been together for many years as well. But the question everyone is asking is whether Shadow will eventually find another mate. And the honest answer right now is that we don't know. Nobody knows. He's his own being, if you will, and he's going to decide on his own. And none of us can know that or predict that. But with cameras, we can sit back and watch. Friends of Big Bear Valley's manager even said, They don't know whether Shadow will even stay in the area. Although he was very determined to establish himself there in 2018, with Jackie gone, that could possibly change. But right now, nobody knows. But most importantly, nesting season and mating season are not until much later this year. So there is no reason to expect any immediate decisions on Shadow's part. And that's why I've decided to continue following the Big Bear Eagles and also making videos on it and reporting what's happening as an ongoing series on my channel. I don't want to speculate about what Shadow may or may not be doing or try to predict what will happen, but I'm going to watch and see and learn for myself, and then I will report here based on what I see. So I'm going to be watching, where is Shadow? Is he regularly returning to the nest? What other eagles are visiting in the territory? Is Shadow interacting with those visitors? Does a particular visiting eagle begin appearing repeatedly? Does Shadow begin spending more time at the nest? And most importantly, what happens as nesting season approaches? But the most exciting part is we're going to let the eagles tell this story. So all of that to say, Jackie left an incredible legacy in Big Bear Valley and across the whole world, really. But nature doesn't stop. The territory is still there. The nest is still there. The cameras are still watching. And Shadow is still out there. So I'm going to keep watching. We don't know what Shadow's future looks like yet, but we'll be here to find out. If you'd like to follow Shadow with me, please be sure to subscribe and join me here for the next update. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, and God bless you.